everyone. I'm Dr. Andrew, your Mackenthun's registered dietitian, and we are here in the wonderful Juniper Apartments right next door to our Minnetrista location. And we are going to be making a wonderful watermelon panzanella salad. What is panzanella salad? It's an Italian salad where the focus is using stale bread. And the bread just soaks up all the delicious dressing and you get this wonderful burst of flavor in each bite. And you can use whatever bread you would like, whether it's sourdough, multi-seeded bread, or even a nice gluten-free baguette will definitely work. So with the bread, you do got to make your own croutons. If you use store-bought croutons, the recipe doesn't work as well because the croutons just crumble once you put in the dressing. So you want to actually make your own from bread. And you can cube it like this with the knife. Or, you can just tear it apart by hand to get some different textures. And what you want to do, once you cube it or once you tear it apart, season it with olive oil or avocado oil, whatever you prefer, and bake it in the oven at 300 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes or until it's dried out, okay? So that's the bread part. Next, let's make the dressing real quick. There are many different variations of dressings you can do for panzanella salad. For the one that I'm doing, I'll be using 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, a 1/3 cup of safflower oil, and then about a tablespoon of honey right here. So next, you want to mix everything together, emulsify it a little bit, just make sure that everything is incorporated pretty well. And then I'm just going to set that aside real quick as we assemble the rest of the salad. So I got grape tomatoes. You can even use cherry tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, whatever you prefer. I personally like the sweetness and the crispiness of the grape tomatoes. And you want to cut them in halves like this. I'm going to be putting this in my large salad mixing bowl. Next, I want some fresh crunch. I got an English cucumber right here, and the reason why I'm choosing this is it has a thinner skin, allowing for that nice crispy bite experience. And I'm going to slice that in half, and then going to make, I'd say, moon-shaped cuts, just like this. I recommend if you are using cucumbers in your recipe, whether it's English cucumber or chub cucumber, use a half cucumber because it's going to be a lot per mouthful if you're using the whole thing. Bite. I'm going to be using a red onion for that. If you want something a little bit more mild, using a shallot would work as well. I love how the English and the Aussies pronounce shallots as shallots, and I wish we did that here because I just think it sounds so fancy. So you give your red onion a thin slice, thin as you can, because you don't want a big bite of onion. And find the smallest red onion if you can, or if you only find a large or medium, use a 1/4 of that. Put it in the salad mixing bowl. Watermelon. Put this whole container of cubed watermelon into your salad bowl. If you are using a whole watermelon, get at least 4 cups worth to go into your salad, okay? And then I forgot to mention, use the whole loaf of bread too for your croutons for the salad as well. Next, we got some fresh basil. This is so aromatic and very delightful. If you don't like the flavor of fresh basil, you can use a little bit of the dried version, and you would use about a teaspoon of the dried counterpart. So with the fresh basil, you are going to simply tear it apart with your hands, because that's going to help release the aromas and the essential oils a little bit better as well. I personally like a lot of basil in my panzanella salad, so I'm going to be doing a little short of loosely packed quarter cup here. Bring the bowl over, grab the croutons that you've made, put that in the mixing bowl, and then next you want to add in the dressing that you have created. So pour that right in, give it a nice toss, and then of course you gotta add some salt to bring out a little bit more flavor. I just do it to taste with my salt grinder. I just do like 3-4 little grinds and a little bit of pepper right there. And then taste as you go to see if you want a little bit more salty or a little bit more peppery. Look at that color right there, and all the different textures in the watermelon panzanella salad. Isn't that beautiful? And no, besides watermelon, you could even use strawberries as a substitute. Peaches work really well, as well as plums. And so there you have it, your watermelon panzanella salad. And that is a very sweet and delightful bite of the crouton and a nice hint of watermelon flavor right there.